Welcome to today's webcast on how recruiters can include individuals with disabilities. My name is Aliza Weiss, and I'm a career support specialist with the Center on Transition Innovations at Virginia Commonwealth University Rehabilitation Research and Training Center.
And I'm Jaclyn Camden, the business liaison for the Center on Transition Innovations, and we are excited to talk about how businesses can increase their diverse workforce by including individuals with disabilities in the recruitment process. So, diversity is a popular buzzword in today's labor market. We are seeing an increased number of businesses implementing diversity initiatives, and for good reason. Research and business testimonies promote the idea that hiring diverse candidates is good business. And along with that, there is legislation that promotes and pushes the hiring of a more diverse workforce. While many businesses are implementing diverse initiatives, some are still struggling to figure out how to include more diverse candidates in their recruitment. So the goal of today's webcast is to provide some concrete strategies and examples on how to recruit diverse candidates. So diversity is this umbrella term that includes many categories, but today we're going to specifically focus on the recruitment of individuals with disabilities. So before we get into the how to increase recruitment, it is important to outline why businesses should care about hiring individuals with disabilities. Individuals with disabilities are an untapped labor pool with around 13.5 million people actively seeking out employment. These are individuals that are traditionally overlooked in the labor market but are eager to fill your unmet labor needs. So many reasons exist to tap into this particular labor pool. First, there's legislation that mandates the hiring of individuals with disabilities. The Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA, prohibits discrimination in the workforce based on disability. That includes discriminating in the recruitment and hiring process. Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act was updated in 2013 to strengthen affirmative action for federal contractors to hire candidates with disabilities. So at least 7% of a federal contractor's workforce must include individuals with disabilities. But complying with the laws surrounding hiring individuals with disabilities is not the only reason to recruit and retain this population. There are many proven benefits that come with recruiting a diverse workforce. Businesses have reported that employees with disabilities have a higher retention rate, miss less days of work, and often provide a creative, out-of-the-box thinking that leads to unique and productive solutions to today's business problems. Studies have shown that people with disabilities perform and produce at a greater or equal rate compared to their peers. So businesses save money when they can produce at a higher rate. Qualifying businesses can also save money by participating in tax incentive programs. So recruiting individuals with disabilities increases your bottom line. You should keep in mind that disability is the largest diversity group. 1 in 5 individuals have a disability. By recognizing people with disabilities as a valuable workforce, you're learning how to make better products and reach more people. People with disabilities are consumers. And according to a recent business case, people with disabilities have a discretionary budget of $200 billion. And they want to spend money in businesses that support and create products that meet their diverse needs. And we also know that people with and without disabilities are more likely to be loyal to companies that hire individuals with disabilities. So increasing your diverse workforce can increase staff retention, productivity, and increase your bottom line. So those are some of the reasons on why businesses should care about recruiting individuals with disabilities. Now let's talk a little bit about how you can do that. How do you increase your recruitment of individuals with disabilities? So marketing your business and open positions can be an essential part of the recruitment process. Strategically marketing in a way that is inclusive of disabilities can increase the number of applicants that you have that have disabilities. One strategy to bring more individuals with disabilities is to feature people with disabilities on your market materials. So promote your commitment to diversity on your website, on your social media, and other marketing materials. People want to hear from people that sound like them, and they want to see people that look like them. The message that we send on our marketing materials can be twofold. They can encourage people, or they can discourage people to apply. To encourage people to apply, make sure that you're using language and information that is accessible and inclusive. For example, when using diversity language, explicitly say disability in your marketing. Talk about how your office accommodates different abilities and how you encourage diverse thinking and experiences. I work closely with businesses to connect them with qualified interns and employees. And I really take notice of businesses and companies that have language like disability, that feature people with disabilities and have clear statements about diversity, disability, and inclusion. So another way to reach more candidates with disabilities is to make sure that your materials, your online materials, are accessible to all people. So you limit the number of people that come to your building if they physically cannot access your building. That's the same principle that applies to limiting your digital audience when not everybody can access your online information. So another strategy to recruit more individuals with disabilities is connect to your community partners. One community partner that I strongly encourage you to make a connection with is your local vocational rehabilitation or VR office. So VR is an agency that helps prepare, find, and maintain employment for people with disabilities. Other community partners might be your local high schools, your local colleges and universities. Connect with their career centers, their diversity support centers. Also, I would recommend getting involved with virtual and in-person career fairs that target individuals with disabilities. So expanding your marketing to reflect the value of diversity, disability, and inclusion in multiple formats is critical to increase access to a diverse pool of candidates.
Now that we've heard from Jaclyn on how to reach candidates with disabilities, let's talk about the application process. Every applicant is different, so the application process should be different as well. To have an accessible application process, offer more than one way to apply. What this does is honor diverse abilities and differences that exist regardless of disability status. Providing choice and options that are accessible to a multitude of applicants increases the pool of applicants. An applicant may hesitate from applications that demand a specific format, such as handwritten applications. Expanding the pool means expanding the opportunity for creativity and diversity. For various reasons, an applicant may need a hand-printed copy of the application. They may need to download it directly to their computer at home, or they might need to print it out and fill it out at home. A person may be working with a job coach to fill out the application, and that might require a quiet space, such as the home. Whereas someone else may need specific software that allows them to edit the form directly on the computer, and that might only be available at their home as well. Oftentimes, a required document to turn in with the application is a resume. This is another part of the application process where you can encourage accessibility. Resumes are expanding from the typical one-pager that has dominated the business world in the past. Allowing different formats of resumes honors the individuality and creativity that an applicant has. Examples of alternative resumes include video resumes, a portfolio, personalized website, or an infographic. A student of mine wanted to work in the marketing field. He wanted to showcase his talents, so a way that we honored this was by videotaping him responding to some questions and talking about his experiences in the field. Included in this video was a link to a personalized website that he created that included photos that he had taken as well as some of his own graphics that he had created. We talked about his college experiences and all other types of jobs that he'd ever had. This website had samples of his designs and also was an exact product of the skills and showcased some of his talents. Another student of mine was interested in working in a mechanical field. To supplement the paper resume of the job, description, and duration of the job, we decided to videotape specific tasks. A one-sentence "change bike tires" pales in comparison with the multi-step sequenced process of changing a bike tire. We looked at the video footage as proof of the abilities to follow directions, problem solve, and work efficiently. Think about how beneficial it would be if you had authentic examples of performing tasks instead of uniformed, manicured pieces of paper. The application process can be the door that lets people in, or it can be what discourages them from applying. We don't want to discourage someone from applying simply because they can't access the application. Encouraging different mediums of applying communicates your dedication to a diverse pool of applicants. So before posting a position, ask yourself, if someone wants to apply, can they? Now on to the interviewing part of the application process. When we think of interviewing, we want to think of practices that are good for all candidates. The interview is for showcasing skills, so let's give people the opportunity to do that. An example of an adjustment you can use for interviews is to break down questions or to rephrase them. Rephrasing can create room to give more accurate answers that better show the knowledge and the skills of the applicant. In an interview, you want to determine what key skills the applicant possesses. How you evaluate these skills needs to be adjusted to best suit the applicant's needs and to best suit their communication style. An applicant may prefer to have a job coach with them during the interview. They may ask for a video call instead of a phone call, or they might ask for a working interview, or ask for a combination of these accommodations. A term you might not be familiar with is a working interview. A working interview is when an individual is given the opportunity to perform the tasks on the site instead of doing a face-to-face typical interview. This showcases abilities and strengths, and the employer is able to determine what tasks they want to observe. This is a dynamic and communicative process that happens between the job coach, the employer, and the applicant. This may include customer service skills, ability to follow instructions, or any other tasks that are usually assessed in an interview. The question the employer should ask themselves is what skills are necessary to observe to decide if a candidate is a good fit for this job. To get more information on working interviews, you can access an additional webcast included at the bottom of this page in the additional resources listed. An example of using an accommodation in an interview is when a student of mine was interviewing for a position at a daycare. We contacted the employer to request the interview questions ahead of time because the applicant needs more time to process the questions. Then, when in the interview, the applicant was able to have the questions directly in front of her and use them as a way to guide her throughout the interview. Sometimes during the interview, the employer would ask questions that were sometimes double questions. So as the job coach, I would break down these questions into two parts so the applicant could answer one question at a time. Rephrasing and breaking down questions, as well as getting the questions ahead of time, are two accommodations that gave the opportunity to construct ideas and examples in a normal fashion. Providing people with rephrasing and breaking down questions is best practice for all interviews, and it makes the answers reflective and the questions, giving the interviewers a better idea of skills and knowledge.
So now that we have reviewed the why and how of diverse recruitment through marketing, the application, the interview process, let's hear from Scott Jones, a general manager and employer well-versed in the recruitment of a diverse workforce, on how he has benefited from recruiting individuals with disabilities and some ways that he has done this effectively.
What benefits has your business experienced in recruiting individuals with disabilities?
Well, first of all, we all need phenomenal employees. We all would wish for a person that would want to show up to work every day with a huge smile on their face and really feel good about the fact that they have a job. They really want to do a great job and work well, not only with customers, but with their fellow employees. So to start off with, we're looking for good employees. And that mindset often is found or can be found with a person that has a disability because they're given an opportunity. And something you don't always find in the general employment market, if you will, people that apply. So what happens is you start with the need. And on some occasions, we feel like it's the right thing to do. But in this occasion, it simply backs all the way up to the fact that we need a good employee. So we start to filter employees. And the fact is that we create jobs or job fit, if you will, customized employment for really everyone in our building. In this case, it happens to be, in some occasions, people that have a disability. But we feature that from the perspective of fine-tune it, if you will. And then the unexpected thing happens. You have this internal effect that it raises the everyday camaraderie. It raises the everyday feel good within the hotel. And something else you recognize is that the customers see this as well.
How do you market the hotel as a business that is inclusive to diverse staff?
So often that comes very naturally in conversation with board meetings, advisory meetings. It can be just talking to a customer if you're on property, or talking to one of our leads for his booked a conference about how we are so successful.
How do you connect and partner with the community to recruit individuals with disabilities?
Well, first of all, the one thing leads to another. And when you have a person that's doing a great job, and you say to yourself, boy, I want some more of that. Because again, it goes back to I need good employees. So I'll dig in a little deeper and find out what other services, how many other individuals have needs as far as needing jobs. So whether it's through VCU, whether it's through Transitions Group, whether it's through the State of Virginia Board of Education, whether it's through the advisory board for the individuals with visual disabilities. I've got many different, through the Virginia Tourism Board, there are several people that sit on the board with me that represent people with disabilities, and there's other individuals with business opportunities for the blind, and it goes all the way from a grassroots scenario. And quite frankly, from a grassroots perspective, often my employees will bring in individuals, maybe family members, maybe it's other local entities that try to help people with disabilities. So you end up internally actually advertising throughout.
Thank you everyone for joining us today at our webcast on how recruiters can include individuals with disabilities. I want to say a special thank you to Scott Jones for providing valuable insight into your business and how it can help other businesses. We showed a shortened version of the interview for time, but the interview is available in its entirety at the link on the bottom of this webcast page. If you're interested in more information in recruiting, hiring, or training individuals with disabilities, please visit our website at www.centerontransition.org or the www.vcurrtc.org. And if you have any additional questions, you can post your question on the web board. Thank you.